You do the intro. I don't want to talk to these people. I'm too famous now. Too good at these people.
Hello, everyone. We are No Good Season, and today we are going to be discussing or talking about
More of like an introspective. It's like a I don't know.
about Lil Ugly Mane. So
yeah. All right, let's just go.
wait. We have to explain what's this video going to be about.
Okay, so
this is a first of its kind video. After all,
so this is gonna be like a I don't know if the word's like introspective, because I know there's retrospective and there's introspective. I don't know if the difference is like intro is like for like people who don't know, and then the retro is like more of like people who do know. Yeah. So this is like a looking back at specifically Lil Ugly Mane's different projects / albums / musical acts.
So we are just assuming that everyone here knows Lil Ugly Mane.
Well, it's more of like a intro. It's just more of like if you don't know who he is, this is who he is and what he has done.
Oh wait, no, I thought
no, it's intro.
I thought you just said it was retro.
No, I didn't mean that.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean,
okay.
No, this is an introspective. Lil Ugly Mane, aka Travis Miller, has donned numerous aliases. They're all names that reflect a certain space and time within his 20 years of making music. He's your favorite artist's favorite artist, and in this video, we're going to do an introspective into his illustrious career. Lil Ugly Mane blasted into popularity in a time where underground music was truly deep within the grimy crevices of mainstream media. Nowadays, streaming music is the new standard. Everyone does it. But believe it or not, quite a time ago, uploading music to a service and having people listen to it across the internet was a brand new idea. Travis Miller was born in Richmond, Virginia, and early in his career, he would be a part of the Richmond noise and rock scene. He would be a part of noise projects such as Across and Cat Torso, and he would even be a part of a rock band called Bedwetter. In a Fader article, Travis had mentioned about being in a band called the Bedwetter. I did the quotes so-called band because in 2013, the release of Sleep Until It Hurts You, he is credited for being guitar, vocals, and he even credited a rhythmic drum machine for the drums. He practically is the band.
One man the band.
He pretty much is the band. Across is Travis's most well-known noise project. He played in live gigs in Richmond, and he even released cassette tapes and merch, which is still like the shirts of Across is a very, very rare piece of merch. Like you have to know someone that was growing up a part of that time to have that t-shirt. It's pretty cool. Rarer than like a Daft Punk vinyl.
Come on, man. Come on.
In 2007, though, Miller made a change and began rapping for a group called The Legacy under the alias Young Gus. He would upload new tracks on MySpace for people to listen to, which would end up being some of his friends at the time. Because so The Legacy was a trio. He was a part of the trio. I think the trio was like, I could be wrong, this is speculative, but I think it's like his cousins or something. They used to record music on a laptop. There's a bunch of songs where you could like hear the laptop fan going on in the background. It's pretty like humbling, almost, you could say. It's pretty cool. Travis, though, would then join a hip-hop group collective known as Chocolate Milk in 2010 under the alias Sean Kemp. Sean Kemp would be Travis's producer name, and he would later produce for many different projects, such as Sean and Nicholas F's joint mixtape, Trick Dice. He would also work with Space Ghost Perp and collaborate with Denzel Curry when Denzel was only 19. He even infamously made an instrumental for a vape commercial called Slippy Syrup. Play that. But also going back, he worked with Space Ghost Perp. He produced a lot of I think he produced like 2 or 3 tracks off of Blackland Radio 666. He also worked with Denzel Curry when Denzel was very young. I think he was 18 or 19. He helped produce King of the Mischievous South. If you know that mixtape from Denzel Curry, that's a pretty like, what's the word? Like you have to know Denzel Curry to know that mixtape. He'll produce some tracks off of that. He also Twistin' with Denzel Curry is also on that mixtape. Pretty good stuff. That Sean Kemp would also release 2 beat tapes while a part of the Chocolate Milk Collective, these being Software and I Thought I Lost You. Sean Kemp's producing style would greatly contrast his early noise tapes and future Memphis-inspired dirty beats. It's hard to explain Sean's newfound style, but the best way I can put it, it's the soundtrack to a cold, lazy day deep in the city. pretty good stuff. It's pretty good stuff. But then he would make the switch. Lil Ugly Mane would release Play a Circle in 2011. His first official solo debut into the underground rap scene. Play a Circle is an album of his time, with Memphis-inspired dirty 808s and cowbells. The instrumentals of this project were a part of the funk revolution that was transpiring at the time. At the time, you know, a lot of artists were being influenced by 3 6 Mafia, Pimp C, what's another one? What's his name? DJ Pauls, people like
DJ Screw or no?
No, DJ Screw. Yeah, you can say DJ Screw. Basically,
Okay.
like Southern, like people who they would use they would make instrumentals based off of like that sound, or they would sample them. It was a pretty interesting time. You know, like I said, there was people like Denzel Curry who was Memphis inspired. Space Ghost Perp, obviously. And Lil Ugly Mane. He would then come back with Mr. Thug Isolation in 2012. Andy from Bandcamp, when explaining this album, said, quote, Mr. Thug Isolation is the sound of Lil Ugly Mane leveling up from a makeshift persona to a full-fledged entity. MTI is the pinnacle of Lil Ugly Mane, with the dirtiest sampled beats and bars that shook up the underground scene forever. Many notable underground artists still sample a lot of Mr. Thug Isolation, most notably Germ and Suicide Boys. Also, fun fact, if you know who Suicide Boys are, they were directly inspired from Mr. Thug Isolation to create that music. No, seriously.
Nah, you know, that's crazy.
Intermission, couple of fun facts. Like, obviously, Suicide Boys is like also another artist who was extremely like influenced by the Memphis scene or whatever. But it was all because of Mr. Thug Isolation.
I kind of don't want to believe this.
No, it's actually 100% true. In 2018, 19, Lil Ugly Mane went on tour for like the first time in like forever. And he was going to go to New Orleans, which is Suicide Boys' hometown. Yeah, there was the Suicide Boys were supposed to go see him live, but apparently they didn't wake up or something in time and missed it completely. No, seriously. I don't know if Suicide Boys has ever directly like said in an interview or whatever, but they would obviously sample a lot of them, and I think, you know, like they would tweet out like a couple of stuff about Travis as an artist.
Can we add in our like 2 cents about MTI?
You can go ahead. I mean,
so
yeah, you can start with you.
I'm kind of a new listener to Lil Ugly Mane's whole entire discography, and I was wondering why. I mean, I know that MTI, how do I word it? I know that it's a big album for Lil Ugly Mane.
Well, really, it's Lil Ugly Mane and like, I guess like Bandcamp artists and stuff like that. Like, I mean, like even Anthony Fantana.
But how did this happen?
It's like a masterpiece.
How did it get like so much? I don't want to use the word respect, but notoriety. Is that a word? Among all these people, like
MU and stuff like that.
And including his own fan base, because I then look at some of his other works that we're gonna talk about, and I'm like, I personally really enjoy this other work, but it doesn't get as much, or maybe it does, but it doesn't get as much recognition as MTI does. So.
Yeah, like
it's like
yeah, it's hard to put into words like the effect the album had with the underground music.
Is Mr. Thug Isolation Lil Ugly Mane's the money store?
It's kind of like it's kind of like Ugly Mane's My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Bad, dude. No.
It's like everyone, when they think of Lil Ugly Mane, everyone thinks of that album, obviously. But
when I think about Kanye, I don't think about.
When I think of Kanye, I think of a lot of things, but I don't know if MBDTF. Well, it's like, again, it's because of Mew. It's because of the music board.
Yeah, okay.
Because they would always like spam MBDTF on Tangent Time. They would always spam MBDTF, and they would also always spam MTI as also like the money store. So when you think of like MU core, you know, it's those albums really, when it comes to rap at least.
Also, one last thing, do you have any info about him producing MTI? Like, was it like?
I have pictures. I mean, there exist pictures of like his studio, and it's all like 100% home. Like, he doesn't go to a studio. He stays at home and he makes it there himself. It's really like the reason why I said it's a pinnacle of Lil Ugly Mane. It's really a pinnacle of like Travis's musical career, because he's been doing music for years, obviously with the Noise projects. There's even like theories of like compilation album. There's a compilation album called a three-sided tape or three-sided tape, and it'll be like found tapes or whatever. There's theories that that's also him. Really, he has like music in his blood because he's been doing it such a long time. So that studio, like, it's like he's been building it up for like ever. So the reason why, again, like I said, is a pinnacle of Travis's career is because he's using all of it to its full extent. And it's also like, he's very inspired with these Memphis beats, and he's like replicating the style very like he replicated the style like to a T. Like the bars that he writes are very like, you would never imagine a white boy saying these like bars like from Richmond, even less.
Yeah.
Is it I don't want to say it's his magnum opus or whatever, because like, again, his he doesn't have a style. He doesn't stick to a style. He's flexible with his music and stuff like that. But it really is like, it got the attention that it deserved. A lot of people know about it, and for a good reason. It's also an introduction to Travis's music career. I mean, there's again like a lot of projects that we'll get into as well. Like after the release of Mr. Thug Isolation, Travis has changed from being a local star to a national star. Would not sit easy on him. Travis would quote unquote retire the Lil Ugly Mane project and quit rap. From my knowledge, he didn't tour a lot. He didn't do shows a lot. So whenever he did do a show, it was like very secretive. That's why like there was a point in time back then where no one knew how he looked like, unless if you directly knew him. No one knew how he looked like, obviously from the internet. So everyone thought he was like, is he black? Is he white? That's also why there's like this mystique or the mysterious identity about him, because it's like for a while he just didn't care. Like that's also why like he gets a lot of respect. He never cared about fame or the limelight or whatever,
or getting like recognition.
Stuff like that. Like he would get like what's it called, like offers from music labels and stuff like that. In a song with
Wiki Grim,
quote unquote, like say like music labels would like ask him to be a part of the labels. Like he would get interviews from Hypebeast and Complex and all this other stuff, but he would always turn them down because he just really wanted, like, he didn't really care about the limelight. Really, that was really it. So when he did blow up, it was like, fuck that, like I don't want to be a part of it. So he quit. He retired the project, which is not 100% true.
But if he ever is open to doing an interview, we have
he can't.
That's a pretty big fan.
That's the thing about him. That's the thing about him. He doesn't do interviews. The only time he's ever been interviewed is some bullshit podcast on YouTube like that didn't even ask him a question, because it was like a group, the Secret Circle. Damn, I should have like went into deep with that, but Secret Circle was kind of like a canceled group that we can't really talk about. But yeah, it was the Secret Circle group, and they were just talking fucking, what's his name? I already forgot. Antoine and the other guy. I forgot his name.
Hey, but it kind of leaves the door open,
the doors.
When one door closes, another one,
That's why he got interviewed for Culture magazine. I forgot what the magazine was called, but for the first issue of this magazine, they interviewed him, and it was pretty cool because he sort of explained like why he quit the project and why he quit making music and all this other stuff. But what's one cool thing about it was in that point in time in 2012, 2013, 2014, when he hated, like he technically hated his fans because he just wanted to be by himself. He really learned from then on. Like nowadays, he would show remorse of like, yeah, like I don't hate my fans. Like I really do appreciate them and stuff like that. But it's also like this guy, he doesn't really care about the fame and stuff like that. In 2015, he would release Oblivion Access, which is complete, black and white when it comes to Mr. Thug Isolation and Oblivion Access.
Which one's that one? Is that the one I like?
No, that's the one with the red one, the red.
Yeah, there's like two red ones. There's Uneven Compromise.
Oh, Uneven Compromise, yeah.
That's the EP I was thinking about. Dang.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
But instead of rapping about loveless sex and nights of rage, he would explore existential imprisonment and depression. Like I said, Oblivion Access is the counter opposite of MTI, and was to many people the first time that they would see the flexibility in Travis's talent. I actually really like this album because was it this album? No, it wasn't this album. But in this album, he would just talk like how the fame sort of affected him, and how like for example, there was this one song, oh man, I forgot, but he would explore like existential imprisonment. He would talk about like humanity versus AI. There's this one song where he would rap one verse, and then or like a Siri would rap the other. Well, it's not rap. She would like read the other verse or whatever.
Oh yeah, I did remember
It's
that.
pretty it's pretty sick. It's all very extremely experimental. He would have noise tracks as part of the album, a lot of noisy aspects, and then there's some songs where it's like extremely mellow rap, like Slugs. I think it's Slugs, and then Achilles Heel, which is, I guess you could say, kind of mellow, but like Achilles Heel, like the metaphor itself, it's like all this like fame or whatever, but he didn't really like give a shit about it or whatever. It was like his Achilles heel. Really, he could be like, there's always that question, like what would he be if he got like all these deals from like these labels or whatever. It's like, but that was like, that's why he didn't do it, because it's like, fuck the world and shit like that, bro.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about artists whose kind of main persona is just being like mysterious in a way, I'm not saying that they go out of their way to try to be like mysterious, but when you think, you know, they're
it's like they're going out, they're I don't know,
and they're mysterious because that's just like how the audience perceives them, right? You know, it's
right.
like we don't have enough information to kind of, you know, picture who this individual is. That's why outside of the art, right?
That's why it's really hard to talk about like Travis. You could talk about his career, his music, his expression of art, all that stuff, and deep dive into it and whatever. But you can't talk about the man himself because it's very hard. Like, because he doesn't do interviews, he doesn't do any of all this stuff. There's really no history to him besides like we know that he made music back then, and he was a part of like the whole Richmond scene with Noise and stuff like that. He would go to Noise gigs and do all these stuff. It would be a part of Vote America, whatever, and these like noise rock shows and stuff like that. But you had to be there to sort of experience his history. So nothing is ever written like the first person or whatever. So you would never hear him talk about like his family or why he did music or why he did the song the way it was. You would never hear stuff about that. So it's always like, that's why it's so mysterious, because he just doesn't talk.
Yeah, and going on to back to like labels and wanting to sign him, it's like I can really see why he didn't want to be with a label, because you know, labels have to make money, and they make money off of advertising and, you know, marketing and stuff. And he's just not wanting to, he just doesn't want to market himself like that. You know, he just wants to do music.
Really, he still doesn't market himself.
Yeah, camera died.
Anyways, Oblivion Access is to date the last mainline project or album released under the Lil Ugly Mane alias. But Travis has made re-releases of his older content or projects or music, such as the before mentioned Bedwetter album, which is titled Sleep Until It Hurts You. He's also had a Register. Well, it's a compilation called Register. It's more of like a compilation of his noise projects. It features it features Across, obviously, Seder, and Silver Crumbs, all noise projects. Here's a fun fact. I forgot which song it was, but one of those songs on Register, one of his noise projects sampled Plantasia.
I mean, what can I say? You know, it's
one of his noise albums.
It's a pretty good album, you know.
Sucks. He would also release a couple of compilation tapes, also under the Lil Ugly Mane alias, such as, you know, the 3-sided tape. There's volume 1, volume 2, and then the third side of tape, and it's like third side Redux, if you want to count that as canon.
I don't think that the third volume is on Spotify.
It's not on Spotify.
It's not on
Spotify. But it's on Bandcamp. It's on Bandcamp. No one uses it.
I don't know where to listen. What is a Bandcamp, man?
But they're all those 3-sided tapes. They're all like compilation. They're like throwaways. You know, if you know like Untitled Unmastered, it's kind of like that. They're all like his throwaway songs that never really made it. Also features some like instrumentals and some like original songs, such as Nicholas F's Short Paragraph of My Life. He produced the instrumentals on that song. Nicholas F obviously rapped it. Pretty good stuff. He would also release some stuff after Isolation. He would release, I forgot what it's called, Criminal Hypnosis. I think this came out after Mr. Thug Isolation. It's a 3-song EP. Really good stuff. It would kind of it's like a sequel to Mrs. Thug Isolation, but it's just 3 songs, and I don't think he actually raps in any of them. He would also have Uneven Compromise, which is, I guess you can call it like an EP. It's a 2-song track. It's one long mix, but it's 2 songs. Really cool. I love Uneven Compromise because it tells a story of like his crackhead friend.
Mm.
And it's no one knows. See, this is like a thing that I explained earlier. Like no one knows if this is based on a true story because he just talks about like how his friend is like a heroin addict and how he's like recovering or whatever. But no one knows if this is a true story. It could be. No one knows. If I was interviewing him, that would be the first question I ask. Is it a true story? Probably wasn't. He also released.
If you're in the comments watching this video, let us know.
No, it's not.
Is it a true story? Okay, it's worth a shot, man.
Another like EP mix he would release is Undoing an Evil Deed Blues, which was after again What's the Isolation. These two like EP mixes are really like filler content, I would say. They don't really like follow Lil Ugly Mane's true like sort of entity, like sort of how he raps about like crazy stuff. It's more of like keeping it down to earth, and like I don't even think he uses like that deep voice in those tracks. Very down to earth, like I said.
So
that's the end of Lil Ugly Mane.
But
in 2017, he would stray away from the Lil Ugly Mane name and release an album under the new alias, Bedwetter. This album, titled Flick Your Tongue Against Your Teeth and Describe the Present, would be his most darkest, most like grittiest album, most down to earth, most like true to form, I guess you could say. The album cover for this album feature it's a picture of a, I guess you could say like it's a bedroom of a mental health facility, or yeah, I guess you could say that mental health facility. This album is not like any of his past works. He sort of there was a Facebook post where he would describe like this album is really just like a journal almost. It's a conveniently placed microphone in front of him. So he would be talking about like a bunch of like personal like sort of stuff. They're all very dark and kind of like depressing, I guess you can say, because it was a point in time where, you know, it was 2017, so this was after the whole Ugly Mane thing or whatever. You would be suffering through, I guess you could say maybe like depression or whatever. One of the things is he never really goes into detail of what he may be going through or whatever, but there are songs that sort of like hints at that. For example, Stoop Lights, it talks about like alcoholism and wandering across the world without really any true meaning. Then you have I think it's called Man Wearing Helmet. I forgot the song name, but he talks about like a child abduction. Like it's written in the first person, but again, no one knows if it's like truly like if he went through that. It's like, again, it's like a first person, like how a kid is getting abducted or whatever. There's also like songs that was made, they're like acoustic guitar songs essentially. There's a bunch of like, it's really like, it's not sticking to a genre. It's like a journal, you know. So the album really shouldn't even exist. Should never be reviewed. Like he doesn't really care about, in the Facebook post he mentions like he doesn't care about the reviews of this album or whatever, because again, it's like a conveniently placed microphone. It's very personal, very deep. And as it stands today, it is his last project that he had released publicly, 2017. We don't really get into, I'm not going to get too much into detail, but there was at the time like a group with Antoine and Wiki called Secret Circle, but Antoine, like he got sort of like, there was like this like these victims came out, and you know he was a sexual abuser. So that ended really quickly. That's also why I don't mention a couple of other projects that featured Antoine. No one really talks about that anymore because, you know, he's kind of canceled or whatever.
Wait, so you said that this is like his most recent thing that he dropped was back in 2017.
It is his most recent. 2017.
I'm gonna fact check you right now. I thought it was 2020.
You can count that, but those are all remixes. Those are all
this is the Caught Looking.
Caught Looking is a remix.
It's
not really. It's kind of like, again, it's like, I don't know if you can call it canon, but yeah, that's as it stands today. Nowadays, he's not really doing much as far as we know, but in Instagram, he is teasing like these album track lists and stuff like that. He also teased a new song called Benadryl Submarine, and also he would re-release a couple of albums on Spotify and Apple Music, which would be 3-sided tape. On volume 1, he would accidentally add like one of his newer songs titled Headboard, very popish, you know. No one knows. I think it's still under the Lil Ugly Mane name, but it's like it has nothing to do with Lil Ugly Mane. It's really just a new project. It's kind of like
Headboard. Or are you talking about Headboard?
I'm talking about Headboard. Yes.
Yeah.
Like pop, punkish.
Yeah. So Headboard. Whenever I was listening to Volume 1, Headboard had more of a rock influence rather than a hip hop influence, or rather than hip hop music that Lil Ugly Mane is known for making. So when listening to Headboard, again, I'm a more recent listener to his music. I thought that was like, oh, this is a pretty cool, diverse project that he put out, right? But after hearing that it's like his new thing that kind of got put on,
accidentally.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's kind of exciting in a way.
Yeah, it really is. But like with Travis's career, you never know what you're gonna get, because he really doesn't do this stuff for the money or whatever. He really does it just for fun. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until very recently, like I think it was 2018 tour, where the 2018 tour sort of like financially like helped him move along or whatever. But besides that, like he just lives. He has a nice house somewhere. He keeps posting about it on Instagram, but no one knows where it's at.
It's so nice. No, I'm just like,
sort of conclude all of this. Travis, he's very talented. He's done many things. I also didn't mention this, but off of Bedwetter, there are 2 like canceled tracks that were re-released recently on a vinyl pressing. That is Raging Bull and Untitled. Raging Bull is another one, like kind of like pop punkish almost, but he made the whole song. Like there's no samples or whatever. So if you go listen to the song, it's like almost like an electronic influence. Same thing with Headboard. You hear the guitar. It's all him. Like he knows a lot, and for him to not be doing as much as he could with all of his talent, sort of like you got to respect that. Like I sort of draw inspiration from him, because like with him, it's never about like fame or fortune. It's really just like the art, and that's what he stays true to. And when you think of a rap artist or even just any artist who tries to stay true and like never really, but like he never sells out or whatever, you can't really think of any artist who does that. Mm-hmm. So for him to be doing that even in the modern era with like streaming and all that stuff, it's really like it's crazy, man. No one's doing it like him, I guess you could say.
Man, I wanted to say something. Oh yeah, so on 3 Sided Tape, you were mentioning how it's all just like yes, it's like kind of like a compilation of just whatever, kind of like Untitled, Unmastered. Yep. But I really didn't catch that vibe when listening to Volume 1, at least. I really did feel like everything.
It does feel like a constructed like album.
Yeah, I thought that it was like his most artistic work.
But it's just a
regarding as an album, because he goes through like a variety, kind of like a story in a way.
Yeah, well, so I should recommend that as an album or a compilation in general, because like that goes through his whole history. Like you hear I think the Budmerk track is on there too. I think I'm wrong actually, but there's like a lot of like different stuff on there. It really shows like how good he is with sampling. You could really go into depth with just like as far as music goes, like how good he is at that. Because you can go into detail with like the sampling, how does he find these tracks? There's also like the artistry with the covers and stuff like that. A lot of the covers he made. Well, actually, all of these covers are 100% made by himself. So if you look at the Mr. Thug cover, he made that, and also King of the Mischievous South. That mixtape, by the way. Mm-hmm. You can go into so much depth just with the music, the art, and make it like a 3-hour-long video. But like. It's just to show how deep, how complex he really is without us even knowing. We just know the top level, just what he gives us, and that's not a lot.
Yeah, that's basically all that there. Well, I mean, we could go on, talk about our feelings and stuff about his music,
you can talk about a lot.
But
it's cool.
I think that pretty much concludes.
As far as albums and stuff like that, that's really it.
Mm-hmm. What was I? Yeah, that pretty much concludes the musical history of Lil Ugly Mane. As far as what he's up to nowadays, it's not
There's
really.
Probably something new coming. We just don't know.
Yeah, probably maybe a new project. He is going. Should I mention that he is performing with Turnstile on September in Austin. We would prefer Houston, but you know,
he has a beef.
Austin, you know, it's good enough. Just not for us
Austin's a pretty cool
because
place.
we missed out on those tickets because they sold out and they're like $5 million now.
Really hard to find those tickets.
Dude, it's crazy because like if I really wanted to, we could still go.
Nah,
Nah,
you can't.
but
Like I was looking through the Lil Ugly Mane Reddit. There are people. There are like a handful of people like finding these tickets. Like no one's budging.
Really?
No one's budging. No one's selling.
Why not just like wait outside the venue?
I'm thinking, man, like that might work. I don't know.
Would that work?
Yeah. Well, Lil Ugly Mane is a real mysterious character, and I think they just everyone wants to go like see him, man. It's like I was, you know, just to talk about my personal experiences. I went to go see Lil Ugly Mane in 2018 in his tour. That was my first show ever. It's fucking amazing. I wish I did more. I was just kind of like standing outside because, you know, I was fucking terrified because fucking Scourge, death metal band was playing and everyone was like fucking terrified. But fuck it, dude. It was fun. Yeah, to witness him in person, I actually have a picture. I don't even know if I should. Here's a picture of me and him. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Of Lil Ugly
Yeah,
Mane?
I thought I showed you this.
No, you never showed
Oh,
me
yeah, I
that
have a
picture.
picture of it.
No, wait, I want to see this. How'd you even get a picture? You're just hey.
So there's all right. So we're still canon. So I was like, Lil Ugly Mane was outside in the back, it's sort of like this back garden area because like some death metal band was playing. Like no one was gonna be in there. So we were all like outside. I think it was like in between actually. So we were all outside. Whatever. We were all outside, and I was like standing next to him, like trying to like, you know, budge in closer and closer to him. And then this guy's like, "Hey, you trying to get a pic with him?" I'm like, "Yeah." Hell yeah. And he's like, "Yeah, me too, man." And then we just started talking, like started like kicking the shit or whatever. And because Travis was talking to someone else. So then he finally turns around and then he goes in and is like, "Yo, we're trying to get a picture, bro. Can you help us out?" And he took a picture with us. He doesn't look the happiest.
He looks like pissed off.
Yeah.
He just look like, who's
Hey,
this
but
guy?
this is like, there you go.
Look at you, dude. That's so funny.
But I got it though. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I got it though.
I mean, he doesn't look that mad. He just looks like, you know.
What the fuck is this guy doing?
Yeah, who's this fucking guy, dude?
Hey, fuck.
So you were what? You were
18?
18, yeah.
No, I was 17 actually.
17.
I haven't turned 18 yet. Damn.
Dang.
Fucking old. That was 3 years ago. Anyways, yeah, man. That was damn, like I still like remember that night. It was 3 years ago and I still remember that night like it was yesterday, bro. It was fucking amazing. Yeah, it's pretty cool though. Wish you could see him again.
Austin.
You just get sad. Start crying.
Well, that's going to be it about Lil Ugly Mane for today, at least.
Yep. We could all again. I think I said this. I keep you saying like these same paragraph. Like we could talk about this forever, bro. We really can. But it's like, it's not. Well, like as far as like his history, there's not a lot that we know. And as far as his music, I guess I'm not really the guy to ask.
What should the series have like a name? Like these type of videos have a name? Introspective. No good season.
No good season. Introspective. Here's a teaser. Here's a. So this is a. Last time we said we were gonna make a video and we didn't, right? No, we did.
Wait, about what?
We said we are gonna do the Ugly Mane video, right?
Yeah,
we did. All right, cool.
In our
So
100
now-
sub special video, which you guys
Thanks,
should.
guys. By the way.
Oh yeah, wait, no,
by
that's
the way-
crazy. That's so crazy.
by the-
Wait. How we just made a 100 sub special, right? We're at what 200.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know a lot of it's from that Death Grips video, obviously, since it's like one of our only videos on the channel so far. But still, we really appreciate
Yep, we
if
really
you've
do.
made it this far to this video. We really appreciate you, the viewer, watching our content. You know.
Here's a teaser for the next video. I guess you're doing the one video, right?
Yeah, is an appropriate time to talk about that video right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna spoil why.
About hers?
Yeah, so there's that video, and I'm also gonna spoil another one. I'm working on a video called it's also like a history. I guess this is a history lesson about jazz in Japan. It's gonna be really cool. No one fucking steal that idea, all right? I started it. All right, go ahead.
Okay, well, no one steal his idea. If you guys steal this idea by the time this video goes live,
Someone's gonna steal it.
we are going to come after you. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Lil Ugly Mane's introspective video.
Yep.
If we come up with a title for the series, it'll be right here. If not, then
There's
something's going
nothing
to be in my hand. If you guys have any suggestions for artists that you guys would like for us to cover, whether if it's their history or their discography or just anything about this artist, leave it down in the comments below, and we check our comments quite
often,
quite frequently. So but we do already have a lineup of videos, but we will
keep those in mind.
If we see something that we really haven't thought of, but we really like the idea of, it might skip ahead in queue for our video ideas. So but yeah, that's going to conclude this video. It's been No Good Season here, and
thank you.
Thank you again for the subs, and we are out.
Shout out to A2B2.
Shout out to A2B2 for some reason
Candy.
again. Come on, dude.
Fucking
Come
fuck
on.
A2B2.
Come on. All right. Come on, you just had it. How do you? Sick, bro. That was good. That went way too long, but that was good.